Hello and welcome back to Live 360. My name is Robbie Omondi. As we talk about 360 today, I'm very privileged to speak to our council member who will be taking us through his journey, and definitely most of us will be asking ourselves about these leaders that we elect into positions that we're not very sure about their roles and responsibility. Now, Daniel Gachau Mwangi is vying for a chair position, LSK Nairobi branch. I would like for him to take us through his manifesto, what he expects from his council members, and how much invested he is in ensuring that when we seek justice, when we seek for services like the ones that he and his council members are going to offer, we are going to get the best services that can possibly be accessed in Nairobi County. So allow me to introduce to you Daniel Gachau Mwangi. He will definitely introduce himself better than I have done and take us through his manifesto and tell us what should we expect from LSK if and when he is elected the chair for LSK Nairobi branch. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Robbie.
Yes.
That's quite a glowing introduction. Thank you for that. Anyway, for the viewers, my name is Daniel Gachau Mwangi, advocate. I've been practicing advocate for since 2011, having been admitted to the bar on 26th of August 2011. I started my practice in Thika. Thika is within Nairobi branch, and Nairobi branch is a devolved unit of LSK. LSK, as a national body, has 8 branches. Nairobi branch is one of them, and it is within Nairobi County and Kiambu County. That's the jurisdiction area. Now, I'm vying to serve as chair of Nairobi branch, and I bring with me experience, having served also in Thika as a chair of the chapter. For management purposes, Nairobi branch also consists of chapters, and we proceed to address area-specific practice issues and welfare concerns affecting members of law society within Nairobi branch. And therefore, in my years of service, this is my second term, I have managed to have a track record. We began, conceptualized, and took up the role of protecting practice space by weeding out quack lawyers in our spaces where they were really interfering with the expectations and business environment, especially for young counsel. Not to mention even the professional integrity issues that we pride ourselves as LSK. So we took that up and have actively fought and protected practice space. We are about, now, as we progress to that space of protection, we have also realized that that's not the only thing that can be done to secure our practice areas. We also have to come out and actively engage with our stakeholders so as to tap into emerging areas of practice, and also to ensure that the existing areas of practice continue working for the betterment of the society, and specifically for the advantage and well-being of the advocate.
Now, when you speak about quack lawyers,
Right.
it's one area of practice that we don't expect to see quacks. When you talk about law enforcement, when you talk about,
Yes.
even the kind of practice that it is,
Right.
how possible and how do we find that we have quack lawyers? We expect this to be the most straightforward work that we have, and how do you plan now to actually deal with that particular issue?
Well, I agree with you. Looking at the legal profession, you'd really be hard-pressed to imagine that there can exist within that space that kind of person who is not qualified to practice. But you also agree with me that it is quite attractive to be in the legal space because there's a perception that it is quite lucrative financially. So wherever you find that perception of lucrativeness of an area, you'll always find everyone trying to get into that space. And that's how it happens. Now, we found that people who masquerade, they are in broad categories, and they'll always want to associate themselves with a lawyer. And then that we find that when we go into now that space of outing the masqueraders, we'll find that they have affected the business environment by interfering with the bread and butter of especially young counsel. In my experience, we'll find that they have been probably attached to a lawyer over a period of time, probably serving as a court clerk in a lawyer's office, and will find that because of that experience, they are now able and actually style themselves as wakili. They are used to calling themselves wakili, and therefore that's what happens. So we found that the space of protecting a practice against that obviously unqualified person requires team effort. We have been very well supported by our partners, that is the judiciary, the police officers, even media. You guys have really come out strong to help us manage that space, and we thank you for that. Right.
I understand that one more thing that you're trying to ensure that the practice grows, especially when it comes to among the council members, is ensuring that you work together so that you lift also the other members of the council who have been practicing for a long time to grow in the career. How will your leadership ensure you empower the people in the profession to grow towards achieving your goals?
Right. Whenever you step out to blaze a trail, there'll always be people who will want to follow in that path. And that I can say, that has happened to me. There are council who are more senior to me, who have taken the lead in making law society a very vibrant place and space to be in. And having said that, we have seen that as council, it is our duty to really make law society a better place than we found it. And that's my driving, let me say, force. Because I agree that, giving an analogy, in a farmer, we are an agricultural economy, largely. If the farmer neglects the land, surely the harvest will not come. So if as lawyers we neglect our practice space, surely it will be invaded by quacks, and it will not be as lucrative, and the standards of practice will go low. And that's why we are here. And that's why I come and offer myself to serve in these spaces. Right. So my effectiveness will be seen when we can boast of a robust practice space where we are collegial, where we are engaging with our stakeholders. And our stakeholders are the judiciary, there is the law enforcement, that is police, the prisons departments. There are also other sectors who actually inform our work as lawyers, and they form our environment. We also have taken it, or I've taken deliberate action myself, to also consult stakeholders who are outside the justice sector. This is the business interests. That is the other NGOs that speak into areas, for example, child protection. Those are people who are beneficial to our society and make the society and the justice sector thrive and be well regarded. We also found that even politicians will be very instrumental in moving the justice agenda. And when we observe that one of the areas our Chief Justice has talked about, social transformation through access to justice, that invites constant engagement between justice sector players and non-justice sector players. Right.
So one thing I'm aware you have also invested in is embracing the digital era, which we are in at the moment. How would you say that will help to grow the sector, and especially the practice, and everyone in the council, as council members, can embrace the digital era to ensure that your services are reached by most Kenyans?
True. That has been really a new and welcome situation that has found us. Unfortunately, we had to embrace it really drastically and fast due to the effects of COVID. But I can say that using tech, especially to access our courts, has been really game-changing. It has managed council to manage spaces. That is to say, I can have a case today in my office here in Westlands, and I'm speaking or participating in a case that is in Kisumu. Like now, next week, I know I have a case that will be in Kisumu. I don't have to travel.
Yes.
So what does that mean for me? It means that I am better management of my time, and we are able to move forward and interact. But also, you have found that there are technological advancements. Like right now, we have the case tracking system, a system which has been brought about by the judiciary. Though it may have challenges now because of some level of interface, it has been a bit slow at times and maybe has been problematic to counsel. Constant engagement with the judiciary will improve its capacity and its responsiveness to members. Right now, I can manage my time and I say I'll look for clients within this period, and then at night, when I am done with doing the cases, I'll just file them at any given time, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. My case will be filed, and in the morning can be dealt with. So that's advancement of technology has helped. And also, we have seen even in our law firms, there are systems which will really be quite beneficial to counsel in management of their law firms. Therefore, it helps us interface with our clients and give periodical reports, and therefore, we find ourselves avoiding the tribunals which are really disciplinary for malpractice by lawyers.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've spoken greatly about how to embrace that particular area, and in your manifesto, good governance is quite broad, and there are some aspects that you've highlighted, including transparent decision making, regulatory compliances, effective communication, and even competence. Maybe in your own way, how are you going to embrace these components to ensure that when it comes to now your leadership as LSK chair, your members are going to feel like we're in a safe space and we're able to practice and serve Kenyans better than it has ever been before?
That's a very good question, and I have seen that you've quite interacted with my manifesto, and I thank you for that. A good governance, if maybe you have observed the space of interaction between lawyers, our AGMs have been quite stormy at times, and to put it lightly, quite stormy. But it has always arisen from the fact that lawyers require better accountability from the leadership. And that's why I'm embracing good governance. I'm saying that our actions will be, or our decisions will be implemented through a secretariat that is already in place, and we can put key performance indicators that we can agree that we have a competent secretariat, but we want to encourage that to be continued. And also we want to say that from a governance perspective, we want to introduce mechanisms that will really foster that aspect of good governance and better management of the branch affairs. That is to say that if you look at the people who are within the secretariat, they are doing a good job. Just capacity build and support them to continue doing a good job in terms of communicating regularly with our members. We find ways to improve and revamp our website such that it becomes interactive with our members, and therefore even partner with judiciary to also share our cost list. The cost list is the daily cases that are appearing before a court. We share them with the links, together to the links to the court, and we find that we can also use our website to do that. Right.
Now, a very interesting aspect of your manifesto is involvement of the young lawyers into your team and ensuring that they have a platform. And truth be told, young people are vibrant and they are coming in with new ways of leadership, with new ways of solving problems, with new ways of dealing with issues. So what did you see as a gap for you to want to involve young lawyers in your council and push them in the right direction to be able to even fill the gaps that exist in the practice?
Well, I will say that young council are quite vibrant, as you say. And I like young council for this reason. In the vibrancy, they are willing to try new things. They have not yet hit a ceiling that saying that is not possible, is not possible. So they push boundaries, and that is very welcome for our society. Now, the challenge on the flip side is that we do not have adequate employment opportunities for young counsel. That can be frustrating. And it really is frustrating because remember, from the public perspective, the profession of law, as we say, it's lucrative.
Yes.
The perception is that it's lucrative, and it has a particular level of esteem. So when young counsel join that profession, or join the profession, they are the expectations from society. But the realities are, they're not happening. So it brings about a lot of frustration and a lot of stress. And therefore what happens is that people who are young counsel tend to be, in a manner, agitating and maybe seeing that the more senior counsel are the ones who are responsible for this lack of opportunity. So what I can say is that increasingly young counsel will be opening offices. Because invariably without employment, you're a professional, you can do the job yourself. So what I pledge to do for young counsel is to adopt a role of continuing to share an impacting of skills program, whereby we can have webinars where we discuss issues that are really cross-cutting, and these issues will help young counsel. For example, when you start a business, you need to know how to budget. Yeah. It's not taught in law school. But yes, there's an accounting course for lawyers, but really aspects of budgeting, aspects of planning, aspects of raising funds, aspects of even the practice of law. There's the invariably young counsel will have to go into a court setup. So what happens when you are in court? The trial advocacy aspect of it, how to behave, how to really get the business of law done. That's why I'm saying for young counsel, we will have a program whereby we engage with more experienced members of society. They come onto a platform and we address cross-cutting issues. And I want to convince the National Council of the Law Society that for young counsel, in entering into such a webinar, let's have a CPD point. A CPD point, that's continuous professional development point, that is free. Because probably counsel has not yet had a job to do, to raise the funds for this CPD, but they need that CPD in order to qualify for practicing certificate for the following year of practice. And that way we are able to support our young counsel to get going and really benefit from being an advocate.
It's nice that you've mentioned CPD, which I've learned today in one term in the
continuous professional development.
Right. It's interesting because we can see what is happening in the health sector at the moment. Right. We see our doctors on the road. We see our interns requesting the government to do something for them. And I believe that's one way of bridging the gap that exists in any other sector. And that brings me to something else that you're trying to advocate is ensuring that your members' well-being is well taken care of. How do you intend to do that?
Well, I'll begin by saying, I'm from the school of thought that every solution, it's a bit funny if you think about it. Every solution brings a problem.
Not the vice versa.
not the vice versa. Okay. Because now, what I mean is, take an example of the uptake of ICT. I can sit here, do my case. I will see my colleagues online, but will not interact. So the solution, which is embraced, is ICT, going into court online. That's great. But now the converse is, there's a problem. We no longer interact. And we no longer have that space to debrief. You know, our career is quite intensive in terms of the stress levels. So we need an outlet for that. There is an event called a quiz night that is being as a program from the branch where lawyers just meet and engage in activities that are geared towards helping them relax and get the stress levels out of it. So I pledge to bring those kinds of activities regularly.
Yeah.
Sports days, expand it to even other stakeholders. We can have a match between lawyers and police, lawyers and judicial officers, even lawyers with against MPs.
Yeah.
All those people are our environment. So we need to interact and continue engaging lawyers and surveyors. I think I mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that we can really interact and debrief. And be a less stressed lawyer is a good lawyer.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And with all that said and done,
right.
I believe the intention is to be able to serve
Right.
the people who are seeking justice, who are seeking services from you.
Yeah.
How do you feel that will enable the council members and the people who will be looking up to you for your leadership
Right.
to pass down the kind of services that they're sought for each and every day?
Well, I'll answer that question with an example.
Yeah.
Right now, we have one of the really areas of concern is the responsiveness of Milimani Commercial Courts. Milimani Commercial Courts is the only civil court in Nairobi County. That is a moment to pause.
Yeah.
Because civil cases are when you have a dispute between individuals.
Yeah.
Maybe Robbie versus Daniel. We want to have an issue resolved. But the court that we go to is the only one in Nairobi County.
Yeah.
In Kiambu County, there are 7 others, or 8 others. 8 others, though one is yet to really take off, but it's still there. But in Nairobi, for civil cases, it's only one court. And because of the, as you can expect, the huge number of cases that are there, there's number of magistrates that are there, there is a lot of backlog. That means cases are not getting determined. So my pledge to members is that we can unlock that space by having a cross-cut of solutions, taking on board what has been tried, tweaking it to make it better, more responsive. Because right now what has been tried in Milimani is a program that is run by the Ombudsman called Mahakama Popote.
Yeah.
That means that a case in Milimani can be heard by a magistrate who is sitting in Kitui as a way to help Milimani deal with his backlog. So what I would do with that solution is just to reorient it to the Registrar Magistrates Court. That is the overall manager of the Magistrates Court in the country. Why RMC? Let me use the short term RMC, because they understand the HR component of the Magistrates Court.
Yes.
They also understand the case load of the Magistrates Court. If, for example, Kitui, in a given day, a magistrate, this is just an example, a magistrate will have 10 cases for hearing, and Milimani will have 40 cases for hearing. You see, there's that disparity. If we can encourage the magistrate at Kitui to really take 5 cases from this magistrate and serve them, who is the end beneficiary? The Mwananchi who had the case before the court, and importantly, the advocate who advanced the case before court. And that's why I take it, we need to really consider the solution that we are bringing and anticipate that indeed they'll also bring a problem.
Yeah.
But we are alert to know that we will deal with the problems as they arise. Yes.
Now, I believe that's where we come to an end, but I want you to now have a parting shot to the council members and to people who you expect to lead this team and how you expect to work with them closely to make this a success.
Okay. For me, I'll say this. My name is Daniel Gachau Mwangi. I'm aspiring to lead the branch as the chair. And I'm saying 3 things about me. I am relevant, I am relatable, and I am dedicated. I have a proven track record that demonstrates that what I am saying actually can be done. I am relevant to know that it is affecting us as advocates. And I am bringing solutions that are relatable, that you can see what can be done, it is possible. Elect me. On 3rd of May 2024, I pray for your votes. Come out in large numbers, and we can join this and say, Daniel Gachau Mwangi for chair, Nairobi branch. Right.
Now, I'm not a council member, but if I was, you would have my vote, definitely, because many other Kenyans seeking for services, especially justice, is not as easy as it looks. But from this conversation, it is possible to ensure that when we seek for these services, we get them close to us, quickly and efficiently. My name is Robbie Omondi. Thank you for tuning in. And in case you're seeking for services, Daniel Gachau will give us his firm name, which I will put down below. We can contact them and they'll be able to assist us in any capacity that we require justice. Until next time, my name is Robbie Omondi. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us.